So, I was looking through my list of videos I've wanted to do, and I realized this was a video that I was supposed to do about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I completely forgot. So here we are. We're going to be talking about Black Reaper and how he was wasted within the Tokyo Ghoul anime. Now, this isn't going to be a video of me bashing the anime because I've done that in the past, and I don't really want to do that here. There are some good aspects to the Tokyo Ghoul anime, and it's not completely bad, and that's evident due to my review where I've said that I really liked the episode of Tokyo Ghoul. Now, for the people wondering, I'll probably do I'll probably explain this again once I have to do my review tomorrow, but the reason why the review is no longer on the channel and so are none of the other reviews is because I got a community guideline strike due to me not editing enough in my video because I did the whole podcast style. So yeah, I'm not done reviewing the Tokyo Ghoul anime. I haven't given up on it. That will return tomorrow. It's just like the style of me doing it is going to be a little bit more different. So yeah, now going back to what I was saying before, Black Reaper Kaneki is a character who really wasn't in the manga for very long. I'm pretty sure that he was in the manga for less than 20 chapters, if I'm not mistaken. He was introduced during the fight with Eto, and then he disappeared and midway through the fight with Arima. And there's a lot of reasons for this. Obviously, Black Reaper was kind of a transitional period for Kaneki's character where, yeah, he was a little bit edgy, he was very wrathful, and that was actually a really cool change that we got to see to Kaneki's character, because up until this point, we never really got to see Kaneki express anger too much. We've seen the psychological, psychotic side to Kaneki, we've seen the very emotional side to Kaneki, and we've seen the very happy side to Kaneki. And, you know, seeing him just outright angry isn't something that we really got to see very often, and I think that's what caused so many people to draw towards the Black Reaper version of Kaneki. I would even argue and say that Black Reaper Kaneki might be the second or third most popular version of Kaneki that we see throughout the course of the story. Now, this might end up changing due to Heisei Sasuke getting so much spotlight in the Tokyo Ghoul anime in comparison to the Black Reaper, because he was only there for about 2 episodes. But Black Reaper Kaneki is personally one of my favorite iterations of Kaneki and my second favorite personality of Kaneki overall, and I'll explain why within this video. So, like I said before, Black Reaper Kaneki is very wrathful, and he's the outright manifestation of Kaneki's overall anger, and that is one thing that I really do like to see about Kaneki. Now, there are other aspects to this version of Kaneki that I really do like, and I can do this in a separate video, like an analysis-esque video, me discussing the overall depth and the quality and what makes Black Reaper so different, but I'm not going to do that here. When it comes to Black Reaper, and the reason why I feel like he's wasted is literally due to the runtime that we actually got to saw him throughout the course of the Tokyo Ghoul anime. Like I said before, he was only in the anime for about 2 episodes. He was in episode 12, or the final episode of Tokyo Ghoul Season 1, whether it was episode 12 or 13, I don't really remember. And he was also in the first episode of the Tokyo Ghoul anime Season 2, as well as part of episode 2. And I believe midway through episode 2, or the very beginning of episode 2, he ended up disappearing during his fight with Arima. And, you know, I've complained before about the pacing of the Tokyo Ghoul anime, and yes, that definitely is indeed a problem, and I do feel like that is the main reason why Black Reaper Kaneki was indeed wasted. Because you have where, in the manga, we got to see several different scenes with the Black Reaper Kaneki. We got to see him in multiple different scenarios, him teaming up with Furuta, as well as his interactions with, Shinoo, I believe that was his name, Eto's editor, him kicking the table. That's such a great scene. But besides that, there's a lot of different scenes that we get to see with him and his overall inner depth, and the fact that this version of Kaneki is extremely ruthless, and he's very cold to the people around him. You see in the way how he treats Urei, kind of blaming Urei for everything that happened to Shirazu, as well as all the other investigators that ended up dying, when Urei was just simply making a statement that if you arrived sooner, Shirazu might have not died. And Kaneki in that situation kind of took it more of a, not necessarily a selfish approach, but kind of cold, where he felt like that Urei was blaming him for Shirazu's death, whereas we do know that that's not actually what Urei was trying to do. He was just kind of making a plain statement where, you know, if you were here, things might have been better. So, yeah. Now, going back to what I was saying before, one thing about Black Reaper that I really didn't like in the anime version, and I did complain about this in my Tokyo Ghoul review, is the fact that Black Reaper Kaneki, throughout the course of the anime, never really feels like a bad guy. Whereas in the manga version, when you see Black Reaper Kaneki, we know that there are several months that he did not visit Hinami. You actually have where Ure was the main one visiting Hinami, not necessarily because of the fact that he cared about her or anything on those lines. It was just more on the line of he knew that Hinami was apparently someone very close to Heise when he was Kaneki, and he was also trying to get information from her, and he was the main one kind of telling her stuff about what was going to happen with her execution date and all that type of stuff. And you have where Kaneki didn't visit her at all. I actually don't remember the full-on time frame of how long he didn't visit her. I think it was about 6 months, if I'm not mistaken, but it was a really long period of time, and that's why Hinami slapping Black Reaper Kaneki once they meet up once again was such an emotional scene, because it's like Hinami, even though she's not necessarily angry at him, she does sort of have the right to, like, it's kind of hard to explain, but even though she does forgive him for what he's done, she was angry at him within that moment due to the fact of him acting so coldly towards her, especially coming from the fact of how Kaneki treated her back in part 1, where she was essentially Kaneki's little sister figure, and you have where he's this cold towards her, not even seeming to care, and even seeming like he was going to let her die. And if we're being real, Kaneki might have. For a long time within the fandom, we really didn't know what Kaneki was thinking, and in a lot of different ways, Kaneki kind of came across as sort of a villain. And that's one thing about the Tokyo Ghoul anime that I really don't like, where they kind of paint Kaneki in this light as if he's this really good person, whereas deep down, Kaneki's very, very selfish. He's a pretty cold-hearted person. Obviously, later on, this ends up changing by the end of the series, as well as certain parts in the manga. It's clear that Kaneki does care about his friends to a degree, but when we got the Black Reaper version of Kaneki, his personality almost made a complete 180, where a lot of people were speculating back then that it is possible that maybe Kaneki was trying to get rid of all of his past ties with all of his friends, and people were starting to wonder, like, is Kaneki going to kill, like, all of his original friends in Onteku? Because you have where he doesn't seem to be doing anything about Hinami, like, getting executed. It doesn't seem like, and it seems like he was more than willing to try to kill off someone like Tsukiyama, who, yes, in the manga version came across as Kaneki's right-hand man, whereas in the anime is more like Tsukiyama was kind of a nuisance. So, yeah, it was just a really scary time for Kaneki's character. Now, I don't mean this in, like, a bad way of his character, because Kaneki has a lot of depth to him, and I've said this before, and he's one of my he's one of my favorite protagonists of all time, but I just kind of felt like that in that situation it was just really weird trying to figure out what side Kaneki could have been on. Now, one thing that has been shown in the Tokyo Ghoul anime that I'm not particularly really fond of is the way how Kagenes are. In the anime, Kagenes are like all different types of colors, whereas they're called RC cells for a reason, red child cells. Like, Kagenes are all supposed to be red, but in the manga, at least on the online scans, it's not in the actual, like, volume 7. You have where they say that Kaneki's Kagene's black, so like the Reaper Kaneki, and if we got to see that in the anime, that would have been really cool, but we didn't, which isn't really that big of a deal, because either way, the fight still looked good from a, like, drawing standpoint, even though the animation was still really stiff, but the art was really good. I just kind of wish that we got to see more scenes with them, because the anime could have added in some extra, like, filler scenes with Black Reaper Kaneki that would have melded really well if they weren't going through the rest of the story. Like, if they just went, like, let's say each season was about, like, one arc long, and we got, like, 12 episodes to Root Island, we could have gotten some extra bits of filler with, you know, this version of Kaneki, which would have been really, really cool, because they did that with Heise Sasuke back in season 1, where we got some extra filler bits with him. I believe it was, like, one where he was walking out of some cafe, and then he saw, like, Yoshimura's, like, quote-unquote ghost, which was a really cool scene. It was really emotional, but it wasn't in the manga, and I liked that. And if we got more scenes like that with Black Reaper Kaneki, where maybe he's doing, like, a mission with the Zero Squad or something, or we got to see a little bit more detail of when he actually gets the epitaph of the Black Reaper, that would have been really cool. But besides that, that's all I have for this video. I felt like that was a wasted character, not necessarily one that I'm super fond, he wasn't wasted that badly in comparison to other characters in the anime, where, like, they've cut out their entire story arcs, aka Mutsuki, but he wasn't really treated as well as I feel like he could have been. So anyways, that's kind of all for this video. If you want, comment down below any other video topics you want me to talk about in the future, please do so, and that's kind of all I have for this video, guys. So thank you for watching. Remember to comment and subscribe as always, guys. I love you all. Jalen Hawk, signing out. See you guys. Bye.